Peace, everybody. Welcome to another segment of Masterminds Monday. I'm your host, Felicia Tabarella New, and unfortunately, we cannot be here with our other host, who is Brother Damon Ross. But of course, he's always pretty busy with his business, so he's away doing business, but he will be back to join us again next week. So busy with business is always a great thing. But tonight, before we get into our topic, I wanted to just make a few announcements. So first, again, we are on, if you've been following us for a long time, you'll notice that things are a little different here. We are now broadcasting on our Google Plus page, which is a part of our Enlightenment and Transformation TV network. So before we were on blogtalkradio.com, /Enlightenment and Transformation. But we're now coming over to YouTube and Google Plus to kind of accommodate our audience with better resources. It's more flexible. As you can see, we can give you more presentations. And of course, these shows are live. So that means you can interact with us. You can basically submit your Q&A by clicking on the Q&A button. So at any point in time, if you have a question, you can always submit your questions right here during the show. And that's for every single show that broadcasts on the Enlightenment and Transformation Network. So on Mondays, we have us, which is me and Brother Damon. We host Masterminds Monday. And then on Wednesdays, you have Sister Kim hosting Anu Safo at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursdays and Fridays, you have Chief on Thunderground Thursdays and Foundation Fridays, and that's from 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And every Sunday, you have Chief Speaks Live, and that is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 1 p.m. So that's a 2-hour live Q&A show. Now that's our most popular live Q&A show, which was designed to speak specifically for Chief when you have, spiritual questions related to spiritual advice or guidance. So that's an excellent platform when you want to, speak directly with Chief, although it's now open on Thursdays and Fridays as well. But I mean, take advantage of these opportunities because you can, learn a lot by listening to his shows. And, just some tips for live Q&A shows. Again, on this particular show, me and Brother Damon, we have shared on Masterminds Monday, when you are seeking out advice from, a mentor or someone high in your community, whatever it is that you do, whatever your culture is. To say you're heavily into business and you like to do a lot of networking. I forgot the exact title of the show, but we came across a particular blog site, which was amazing. I think it was a blog site or a networking site where you can actually contact entrepreneurs who are wealthy, very experienced entrepreneurs, famous entrepreneurs who will give you actual advice. I forgot the name of it. I'll just go through our archives and you'll see on Masterminds Monday. And in that, the advice was given, from the entrepreneurs, what they wanted. And they wanted people to get to the chase, because time is money and people get a little intimidated sometimes because of who the person is. So say, for instance, you could possibly contact the guy who owns Facebook or whatever. And they just want you to get to the chase. Like, what exactly is it that you want help with in a very clear and concise way? Because, again, time is money. So even if that's how it goes in the business world, just think about that in the spiritual community. People that are high within the spiritual community, they're priests and they're leaders, community activists. You want to approach them with that same level of respect. Again, time is money. So same, again, this show's about business and spirituality, so they're not separate. So again, when you are calling into these shows, and especially if you're speaking directly with Chief, you want to respect his time because, just listen to some of the archives on Chief Speaks and you'll see how some people can be a little long-winded. And it's a lot of people that are in line trying to get to speak to Chief as well. So you want to, be courteous of everyone else that is waiting to have some time to speak with him as well. So you just be a little concise with your questions when you speak to him. And of course, get to the point. Be respectful, say hello, how you doing, and all that good stuff too. But just like how the entrepreneurs were asking for you to, respect my time, please come with clear questions because I have to move on after I'm with you to help someone else. Same thing in the spiritual world. You want to approach that when you contact Chief for these live Q&A shows because he's an extremely busy man, and he's extremely giving. No matter what you think or however he may come across sometimes to people, he is extremely giving. So he gives a lot of his time to teach and answer questions, but just don't take it for granted, because he does give a lot, but you just want to be mindful. Just like in the business world, you want to be mindful of the leaders on the spiritual side as well. So when you call into Chief Speaks, it's Underground Thursdays, Foundational Fridays, just like on the show where me and Brother Damon have given advice on if you contact an entrepreneur, some mentors, the same thing. So you want to make sure that your questions are very concise. A lot of people call in with questions related to their dreams, and they are extremely long, which can be a little draining to kind of decipher. So just like what we advise here is to make sure you go there with concise questions. And one way you can do that is to write your questions out. Again, we try to limit it to one question, especially on Chief Speaks, because the queues, the phone lines really blow up with people waiting. So we do try to limit it to one question. If it's a little slower day, you can get more in, but make sure you write them down, because once you write them down, then you want to read them out loud. And then once you read it out loud, you might say, that's very long. Or you might say, oh, okay, well, I think I already know the answer to this. I think this would be a better question instead of the one I originally had instead. So you want to get the most out of your questions. So no matter what show you're calling into, whether it's this one, She Speaks, Anu Safa, whatever, you want to structure your questions in a way that you really get the information that you need so that it can really help you. So that's the key. We're all here presenting these shows and this information because we are trying to give you the information that you need that will help you. So in order to do that, you need to structure your questions in the same manner. So that's just, some Q&A tips for that. So again, just make sure you write them down, read it out loud. If it doesn't make sense, try to narrow it down. Just as if you were texting somebody, if you realize, okay, now this is going to turn into 10 texts, I should pick up the phone and call a person, or just really get to the point of what it is that I want to talk about. Same thing with these live Q&A shows. So you want to get your bang for your buck within a few minutes that you can get one of us on the line. So again, these are live shows. All of our shows are live now. And to participate, you basically just have to click on the Q&A button. So I'm not sure if you are using a mobile phone or a desktop. The functionality does work. We've tested it out. So you can just type in your questions and we'll get to your questions, as soon as we can. So that's just some tips for the live Q&A shows going forward. Another announcement is, of course, we have our monthly webinars there every single month, and we have another exciting one coming up in about a week, and it's on alchemy. So this is a part of a series that we've been doing. The first two we did on herbs, the other one was oils, and now this one's on alchemy. So this is an excellent opportunity, even if you missed the first two, to kind of, have a consolidated view of how everything interacts. And you can register today. Make sure you get a RSVP in advance. And we're on a couple sites, so you can register on SaduluHouse.com as well as AnuNation.org. And you can also register on our meetup.com, Enlightenment, I believe it's Spirit Workers, that you can go to our meetup page as well. But the best way is to either do it through SaduluHouse.com or through AnuNation.org. And you can register right there, as well as see what our other upcoming events will be for 2016. So just make sure you get registered for that in advance so we know, again, that you are coming. And then one more announcement that I wanted to make before we get into our topic is on the Alpha Omega store, we have a couple of interesting specials. So, of course, we have the Day of the Dead special. If you're not familiar with the Day of the Dead is, once you go to the Alpha Omega store, just click on the blog, and there's a nice little written article right there that will give you more insight into what the Day of the Dead is. And in honor of this, we are giving everyone 15% off your entire purchase. And that ends tonight. So pretty much, I believe, tomorrow, maybe around 12 a.m., the sale will end because the Day of the Dead ends today. So we have some excellent products there. Again, it's your one-stop shop for all of your spiritual and self-development needs, and as well as hard-to-find products. So if there's something on there that you are looking for that you still can't find, just click on the contact us section and let us know, and we'll see if we can source that item for you as well. Another interesting little ad as well is that now you can also donate. So just as if you go to a store, you can donate to breast cancer here, you can donate to our Africa initiative. So, you know, you have your option of, well, $1, $3, $5, $10 to donate, you know, include it with your purchase. So whatever your purchase is, if you go to the same item, the same section, shop by products, click on donation, and then there you will see all the details about our Africa initiative that we are working on. And again, and it's through Anu Nation. So Anu Nation is the parent hub of everything I knew, including the Alpha Omega store. So definitely check us out there and make sure you add that, because 100% of those proceeds will go towards this project that we are working on. And it's a beautiful project, so definitely check us out here on Alpha Omega store, as well as go to anunation.org. You can see a list of all of our initiatives that we have going on. We have a lot of projects going on, but this is a way that you can also help and participate. So those are just some highlights I wanted to talk about before we get into our show. And just bear with me as I continue to work these slides, and then we'll get into our show. So again, thank you all for joining us. And as you can see, we've been doing a theme, if you haven't been following us the past few weeks, we've been doing a theme of, well, I do medicine cards through the Eye of Peru spiritual consultation. So I do life path readings, the 30-minute consultations, the mini life path readings, and the spiritual wealth readings as well. And sometimes we go through a topic block, you know, me and Brother Damon. So we wanted to figure out what to talk about for the next few weeks. And, you know, I just felt like, okay, well, I like to read on everything, as I've shared before, in some, you know, when it comes to certain decisions that you need to make. And we decided to do that for a few weeks, because sometimes it's not about what we want to talk about. So just like when we talk about in business, when you are formulating a business and you have some idea that you think is excellent and you want to push it on your client, sometimes it's not about what you want. You know, you have to ask what the clients want, because if they don't want it, they're not going to buy it. So it's not going to be a success. So the same thing here with our shows and giving you information. You know, sometimes you just want to, you know, contact, you know, consult spirit and see what we should talk about. And we decided to do that. So over the past few weeks, we've been, I've been doing divination sessions and discussing them with Brother Damon. And we've been talking about over the next few weeks, how we can share that information. And the medicine cards, they are cards from a native system, and they teach you about the pathways to power through the teachings of nature and through the teachings of animals. And for this particular week, the card that came up for this segment was the wild boar. Now, the wild boar is another animal that I really like. I think from the movie Lost, I had me, not the movie, the TV show Lost, which I loved. It had me, you know, fascinated by the wild boars. And I just love animals, so I think they're all cute, no matter how vicious or no matter how sweet they are. I think they're all amazing creatures that we can learn from. And the medicine and the teaching of the wild boar is confrontation. So as you can see in tonight's topic, we're discussing, you know, confrontation for business success. And what this means, like how you can learn from the medicine of the wild boar, you know, even if you've seen them, you know, they have the strong tusk. It's the dark brown pig, you know, with the hair on it. So it's a dark animal, and it's very aggressive, very protective of his family, and it will face things. And people may think, oh, it's just so fearless. And it's like, well, no, it is scared to no end. It's fighting off leopards. It's fighting off alligators. It's not just walking around like Tarzan. It's extremely scared. But the thing is that it just finds the courage to face these fears, because it's like, well, I'm not going to let this alligator eat my entire family. So I'm going to face this leopard. I'm going to face this alligator. I'm going to face this animal that's twice my size, because this is something I have to do. I have to stand up for myself. I have to stand up for my family. I have to stand up for what I believe in. And this is the medicine that, you know, the wild boar is trying to teach us. So again, we always start the show with the card that, you know, came up. And the purpose of this is to share, because when we divine, it means that someone out there needs to hear this message. And it could be one of us as the host or anyone in that audience. And this is the foundation of the medicine of the wild boar. So the wild boar, he teaches us to, confront not only just particular issues that are external from us. So like, okay, someone's attacking us. So don't just whimper away and, sulk, stand up to that person. It also and primarily does speak to confronting and conquering that beast within. So a lot of times we don't like to talk about that. What is that monster within? Because we all have a shadow side. And it's not something that we should be ashamed of. It's something that we need to acknowledge, embrace, so that we can confront it and heal it, so it doesn't control our lives and leave us sitting around wondering, why is my life, as a show that I did a few months ago, why has my life not changed? I think we used the theme from the Conditions song, 20 years later, my life is still the same. And a part of the problem is because of stuff like this, not confronting your own personal demons, your own beast that lies within. And the boar wants you to do this, so not that you can, feel horrible about yourself. It's to do these things so that you can now change these weaknesses that you have into strengths. So that can be anything from, if you are just a pathological liar, if you are a big time procrastinator, if you are just extremely selfish, you lack compassion for any and everything, this is what this board is trying to teach you, to confront these things within yourself. So not just getting in everybody's face that, annoys you. This is about confronting yourself. Because again, we're talking about, confrontation for business success. And this means about confronting these things without running away from your problems. Now, the beauty of this is when this card surfaces, and the excellent thing is that it surfaced in the proper position. So that means that it wasn't contrary. It wasn't upside down. And what that means is that, okay, it's in a balanced position. So whoever's listening, it means it's a good thing, And so another good thing too, it means is that you have the courage to do these things. You have the courage and the strength to face your weaknesses. Anytime this card shows up, it means that, especially when it's in an upright position, it's showing you that you have the medicine of the wild boar already inside of you. So if you take it over to ORISHA world, that's the medicine of Shango, that courageous fighter. It doesn't mean that he's never, not he, it's an energy, but people that have that medicine, and it never means that they're not ever scared of anything. It's just they are not going to let that fear conquer them. They're going to conquer that fear and keep, moving forward. So that is what the medicine of the boar is trying to teach you, to ultimately find the courage to face your fears. So again, when we think about changing our lives, like starting a business, especially stuff like that, where it's like, okay, this is going to be a completely different thing from what I'm used to doing. The first thing that will set in is fear. And again, that's that dark side of the ego. All ego is not bad. It's an excellent thing that you need to help you fulfill your purpose. But when you have that dark side, that the fear comes up and it's saying, hey, wait a minute. I got us all nice and comfortable with our job that we've been doing for 20 years. Now here you go trying to change things. No. So now the ego is going to do whatever it can to not die and keep you working at that job for another 10 years. Because it's like, okay, I make a good, living. I make enough money. I can take care of my family. So you just start thinking about all these things. And now, of course, doubt now sets in. That's another sign of activated ego. And then you would just listen to your ego telling you all these things that to you make sense. And then you would just continue on in your life, because on the surface, okay, it's not a bad life, but it's not the life that deep down inside you should be living. Or if you are a business owner, for instance, are you procrastinating on a particular project? Are you procrastinating on, or are you scared to fire somebody or break away from a partner that is not helping your business to flourish? Things like that. This is what the wild boar is trying to teach you. Now, the silver lining with this, of course, is that unless you do this, what the wild boar is telling you to do, courageously face your issues. If you don't do this, then you will not be able to fully express and share the power of who and what you are, like why you came here to this planet. So you have to find that strength to do it. And of course, it's much easier said than done. So I'm just going to give you a quick tip that I think is excellent in helping you to get there. Now, you're going to think, okay, of course, but this is it. Join the classes. Join the classes. I Knew Spiritual Training. And I'm saying this because you will find that you'll get the most impact in your healing, in your personal development work when you do the work yourself. So by that, I mean, yes, you can go get a consultation to see where you need, to go or what path you should take. But the consultation is just that. It's just guidance. So you can call me and get, a life path reading, and I'm going to give you the guidance that comes up in the consultation. But then the next step is that you have to do the work. So all of your cards can be upside down. Even if they're all up straight, you still have to now take that information and figure out what path, you want to take, and how you are you going to do certain things so that certain things can materialize in your life. So it still requires action and work on your part. Now, a lot of our classes, the I'm a Spiritual Trainer is designed for you to do the work, right? So I'm not just saying this because of course, okay, yeah, I knew. But I'm saying this because it actually works. Like, we have to take the classes ourselves. We've gone through this process, and they are designed for you to go at your own pace so that you can do this work, and it comes complete with activities. So it's not just about reading a book, closing it, saying, oh, that was good, and putting it back on the shelf. Or just listening to a lecture and, oh, that was interesting. No, you have to now do the work. And some of these activities are 7 days, activities. Some you will have to do over and over again because you're going to know in your spirit, like, I don't think I got it. Let me go back and do it. And then you are going to see your life changing. You're going to see these issues that you have dissolving. Again, because even statistically, it shows that there is no other type of healing that has the same power as the work that you do yourself, And that, you can get a chakra balancing from a Reiki master. I haven't done it. I know people that have, and they still have this same issues, so for a moment it may be, oh, things are getting better because my chakras are balanced. That's good. But, this is what happens. Since your mind can't tell the difference between what is real and what is imaginary, the thing is, if you think that you are cured and balanced and you're all healthy and everything's great, then you are, because that's what your mind thinks. And now if you think the opposite, then my life is horrible. Well, then it is. And then where the mind goes, the body follows. So now you're going to create these thoughts. And then, of course, you're going to create these thoughts, and they're going to create a reality that equals what you are thinking. Now, but when you start to really address these things at a core level, then that's when you become in control. And then you can see yourself from like an outer body experience, and from your soul's eye and your soul's perspective, where you're looking at yourself again from the soul, and you're saying, okay, I'm doing that thing again that I always do every time I'm scared, or, my fear is triggered, it always gets triggered in this type of situation. But now that I'm more self-aware and I've been doing personal work, I have a tool to help me cope with this. So again, we're not trying to say you're going to be a superhero overnight, but you will certainly now have tools to help you cope with certain things. So now your response will be different. And that's what your soul wants you to do. Have a different response to these same situations and these same patterns you keep going through over and over and over and over again. So being more self-aware instead of panicking, now you'll say, okay, when stuff like this happens, I know I need to just take a walk or go for a drive or do some yoga and meditate. And then, get it out on paper or talk to someone about it, and then start organizing and planning how I can then attack this issue, providing a course of action as opposed to just being frozen and paralyzed with fear and not getting anything accomplished at all. And again, being still stuck in the same rut that you want to get out of. So that's why these classes are great. And we have a mini series coming out where you have students of Anu Spiritual Training who are giving their own personal testimonials on just how these classes have done that, how these classes have helped them to change their lives. So it's one thing, you got the teachings from Chief Yuya, but they put the work in. So that's what's key. So again, if you want to check out the videos, again, if you're in Enlightenment and Transformation Network, I'm sorry, if you go to alphamegastore.com, go to the classes, and you'll see a video there with one of the testimonials. Just click on the YouTube, subscribe, and you'll see more to come. So just really listen, check out the classes on SaduluHouse.com, and that is one way that you can kind of help yourself to get out of the situation that you are in. Because here's the thing, I like to do a lot of research. Now, research shows that the odds of you making a change in your life are 9 to 1. That's horrible, 9 to 1. And that is even in the face if you are, you have some fatal disease or some life-threatening disease. People are still like, I don't care, you know, pass the pork chops. You know, I'm going out with a bang, I don't care. So, you know, it's like people really find it very difficult to change their lives, and especially as we get older. But if you are feeling like there has to be a lot more to life than this, quote unquote, whatever it is that you are experiencing, then guess what there is? You just have to work towards it, and you have to believe in it. Again, because again, the mind doesn't know what's real or imaginary. So just start to believe in these things that you want for your life and work towards them, and then you will materialize these things. So again, definitely check out the classes. Again, at SaduluHouse.com. And definitely check out all of the shows, because these shows will also help you to get the tools to get to your destination, or whatever it is that you are trying to do, and master this medicine of the wild boar. So again, that's our show. Thank you for joining us. Again, this is Masterminds Monday. I am your host, Felicia Tower-Anu, and we're here every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also join us on Wednesdays for Anu Asafo at 3 p.m. Eastern Time with Sister Kim. Thursdays and Fridays, you have Chief again. Again, these are live shows, so take advantage of the opportunity on 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, you have Chief Speaks every Sunday from 11 to 1 p.m. So that is our show. Thank you all for joining us, and I will see you all next week.